Welcome everyone to this 26th virtual lounge session on the 26th of July 26. We have with us today Mr. P K Mishra, SCA of 83 batch, who retired recently as the general manager of the modern coach factory at Rae Bareli in UP. And he has done tremendous work on promoting the environment along with the industrial development of modern coach factory. The title of his talk is From Barren Land to Green Legacy. Now, I have to mention that 3.5 decades before P K Mishra, there was another Sam who was very well known for his environmental push. And it was long before environment became a hot button subject. And that was Mr. G.S. Kung of 49 batch. And I must mention his name because there is, when he was, in those days it was called DS, Divisional Superintendent, now DRM of Chakradharpur. He, he, he afforested an area which is today known as Kung Forest. And there is, as legend has it, when he was setting up the rail coach factory at Kapurthala, his morning position was more on how many trees have been planted and how many are still surviving. And then he would go on to machinery and plant and other mundane matters. So, carrying on in that legacy, P K Mishra has, after 3.5 decades, taken up this baton and done an excellent job in ensuring that the environmental issues are looked after, the afforestation, water conservation, renewable energy, all looked after along with the development of the industrial base. And by way of example, he will quote examples from the modern coach factory at Raebareli. A little bit about P K Mishra. He belongs to Bihar. The village he comes from is called Mandar Hill. He did his studies in Bhagalpur and, of course, joined Jamalpur in '84. I had the privilege of having worked with him when I joined in the Northeast Frontier Railway at Guwahati, and he was looking after the diesels when I joined there as the CME. And ever since, I have kept in touch with him. I have seen his progress from there when he went as DRM Asansol, then he went as additional general manager at Hubli Southwestern Railway, and then as general manager at Rae Bareli. And all along, he has not only looked after the environmental issues, but also heritage conservation, which is a very strong portion of his legacy. And apart from the fantastic job in the professional terms, I mean, there's no taking away from delivering on the professional front. I can vouch for that. And he has also taken to writing in a big way. He has written a lot about the history of how the Indian Railways was set up, researching the original documents. And he has, I think, put out 3 books already. With that brief introduction, PK, I will hand over to you to take us through your talk for today, Sustainable Development from Barren Land to Green Legacy at the Modern Coach Factory, Raebareli, and improving the air quality index to a phenomenal figure of 8. Over to you, PK.
Thank you, sir, for the kind words, sir. I was really fortunate and blessed, sir, to work under great masters, sir. And with you, I had worked for almost 4 years, sir. So I will start my presentation. So good morning and good evening to all the distinguished gentlemen. It is really a privilege to be here today. And I must thank Shri Virdi sir, Jayal Singh sir, and Luthra sir for giving me the opportunity to present this topic. Over the last 4 decades, I have had the opportunity to work in various assignments: locomotive maintenance, operation, coach manufacturing, and industrial management. Each assignment presented its own engineering challenges, and every posting left behind valuable lesson. Yet, among all those experiences, none transformed my own understanding of engineering as profoundly as the journey I am going to share with you today. Sir, this is not a story about railway coaches or production. It is a story of a landscape so hostile that for decades it was like Barren, and people had almost thought impossible to perform. Its soil pH value was ranging from 8.5 to nearly 10. Sir. Groundwater quality was extremely poor. Dust storms were common. Vegetation was sparse. And except for few acacia trees, nothing was available in that landscape. And even experienced professionals believed that no meaningful plantation could be done in that area. And that was the region government of Uttar Pradesh gave that land to us because it was a barren. Yet within a remarkable short period, the same landscape evolved into one of the greenest industrial campus in Indian Railway. Today, hundreds of thousands of trees thrive there. Water that once flowed every monsoon to Bay of Bengal is conserved and recharges the aquifer. Birds of every hue and size have returned. Winter migratory birds now visit the campus every year. Peacocks, butterflies, and pollinators have become part of everyday life. On one memorable morning, exactly 1 month after I left the place, the air quality index displayed a remarkable value of 8. People from Rae Bareli sent me pictorial recording. It was unbelievable because even in Nordic country, the value in a single digit is just remarkable. But if you remember only one thing from my talk today, I hope it is not AQI. The real story is about the journey, how this transformation happened, and what the lessons we learned in the process. It was not driven by large budgets. It was not outsourced to the consultant. It did not depend on expensive technology. It came from series of failures. It came from observing the nature. It came from the community participation, and it came from watching the nature's ways and learning from them. So the nature was our silent teacher. We were their uh, obedient people, and it was the entire community that came together and believed in a cause greater than something and made this transformation possible. So this journey, sir, I am going to share in next few slides. I believe these lessons are relevant far beyond one factory, one township, or even one organization. These are lessons about how engineering can leave behind a legacy that endures long after project itself is complete. So these are the four pictures, two in the left side, two in the right side. And these two pictures tell us the journey of industrial township of MCF. And why I'm showing this slide? Because it is important to appreciate where we have finally arrived. We should start from where we had started the journey initially. The left side photograph you can see is a barren land. There is hardly any vegetation. And the right side, there are two photographs. The first photograph is of a Miyawaki forest I had developed in a space in around my bungalow. And second is a picture of a pond in a golf course. So this remarkable transformation had happened of the land, which was totally hostile. So before we start this plantation work, so this was the area, sir, where we didn't have much competence, and people in past had tried number of time. They had not proved successful. So my advice was to my officers, kindly involve UP State Forest Department, and we will give this job on a single tender basis. And giving job to government organization is simpler; it causes less headache. All those experts from Forest Department came. They took soil sample, and after 2 3 months, they gave a polite letter declining, saying that land is extremely, the word they have used is usrila, and वृक्षारोपण कार्य कराना अधिक कठिन है. So they said that plantation is not possible, and they declined to accept the job. So now this question was extremely this letter was extremely disheartening to us. So we thought, let us do something, because when forest department had said no, this does not mean that this is the end of the world. I gave them example of Israel. I said, if a desert area can be made green, then this is not a desert. Let us work on it. Let us understand it and try our work. So with that resolve, sir, we started work on green transformation of MCF after the letter of forest department. So now we began asking, why can't trees survive here? Earlier we had said, who can plant trees for us? So now I said to our people that because forest department will not work for us, so let us find out the reasons why tree is not able to survive. So that changed our thinking, and we wanted to go into the root cause of why trees don't flourish in that area. Immediately next week, sir, there was a World Environment Day, which is observed on every 5th June. So with a lot of fanfare and involving everyone, we planted thousands of saplings all over the campus. Everyone was involved into it, sir. The involvement was genuine. Everyone tried to plant trees. But almost all the saplings died. Despite taking care of those saplings, none of the single saplings survived. And if you see the topography of eastern UP, you will realize that around 5th June 2023 or the entire June, their landscape has a low, very hot weather, temperature above 40 degrees centigrade. So despite morning and evening watering of the sapling, none of the sapling roots were able to sustain and grow. Most of the people, old timers, they came and told, sir, I had told you that tree, it is very difficult for this soil for tree to survive, and you have seen that all the saplings have died. So that was another setback to us, sir. But this became a great lesson for us, because we realized that nature follows its own calendar. What we did erroneously, that we followed the calendar of the railway board. The railway board had told us to start plantation on 5th June, so we started plantation on 5th June. But nature does not follow the government calendar. Nature has its own calendar. The monsoon comes there either in the second week or in the third week of July. So next time, sir, when we started plantation, we looked at the sky, not at the government letter. And when soil had become slightly wet, we started saplings in a big way, plantation of sapling in a big way. So that was the one lesson we learned, sir, that you have to follow as per climate and don't plant according to the calendar. We aligned ourselves with the nature, and we cannot expect that nature will align with us. We have to align with the nature. And I think that this principle applies for beyond plantation. It applies everywhere. That sometimes the more intelligent decision is to follow what nature is doing. As you can see, so next time we did large number of plantation in the month of July, second week of July, when monsoon had already arrived. And when monsoon had arrived, the chances of survival of these saplings were very hard, very, very high. But this was just one part. We had taken care of the climate, we had taken care of the watering, but the soil pH value was so high, it was within 8.5 to 10. So most of the saplings would not survive there. So what we did a brainstorming, and during brainstorming, a lot of idea came. Someone suggested that the entire topsoil we should replace. Someone suggested that we should have thousands of kilograms of gypsum scattered. And we found that those ideas were quite costly. So we followed a simple idea. By using in-house augering machine, we created thousands of a bore all over MCF campus. And by using ETP sludge and organic manure produced in-house and some gangetic alluvial soil, we filled all those pits. Now, those pits became a island where tree sapling roots can survive. So we realized that because we cannot change the entire landscape, so we will concentrate only on the root zone, and that is the root zone which will give initial breathing space to the roots. So that becomes one of the most satisfactory language example of engineering thinking, that you should not try to change the entire landscape, you should not try to change the entire system, just concentrate on a critical few variables that determines success. So by following this philosophy of making thousands of pits with a specially prepared soil, we provided a condition where those saplings could grow. Now the next question was, sir, what trees to select? So we realized that we should follow what is available in that landscape, in that area. We identified these trees as you can see in the screen: Karanj, Sisham, Kadam, Teak, Jamun, Peepal, Mango. These were the trees which would grow there for thousands of years. So our choice was those trees which nature had selected for the landscape, not some fashionable trees or trees which can grow very fast. And we also kept two, three things in mind, that we should select trees in such a way that some trees are fruit bearing, which will invite birds, some trees will provide shade, some trees will provide a greenscape. So by intelligent selection of a local tree, native species, we started saplings in a big way. Now the next point was, sir, when you want to do a large scale plantation, it requires large budget. And spending money on a plantation was not, people were very happy about it or people were forthcoming, because they felt that it is going to fail. So no one was coming forward to spend money on it, and people were quite apprehensive. So we said, okay, let us do with almost zero cost. So we did not give any contracts, we did not provide any budget, we did not do any outsourcing. What we did, we requested forest department that kindly give us a free sapling and we will give you 100% geo-tagged trees. They believed, because they also had a budget of planting crores and crores of trees, so they gave us a few thousand saplings. We involved every railway staff, officers, association, ladies, scout and guide. We made it a community participation, sir. We used in-house machine. We used compost produced in-house. And all the design and thinking was done by our engineers and officers. So practically it was except for few thousands of rupees, we did not spend any money in this project. As you can see in the picture, we involved all the schools, all the kids. We told them that you have to participate in on making this environment greener. They were very happy to join, sir. Then we, by using Mahila Samiti and our various bodies, we involved all the ladies of all categories, sir. And we requested them that their frontline area of their houses kindly plant and maintain them. And we were very lucky that we had a IG with us who was a keen environmentalist. He identified few RPF officers and constables along with ex-army jawans. And they were so dedicated that before starting their duty from 6:30 in the morning to 7:30, and again in the evening from 5:30 to 7:30, Around 10, 12 people will silently work without telling anyone. They will take care of the sapling, they will tend it, they will water it, and they did it for almost 3 years. So their dedication, that became a huge motivating example for everyone. We involved all our trainees, apprentices, officers, workers. So it became some mass movement, sir. And that's how we were able to plant lakhs and lakhs of tree by involving everyone and without giving any contract. After planting trees, we realized that planting of tree is not enough. We have to provide a landscape, a habitat, an ecosystem which will support these trees. For that, we required water bodies. So we constructed around 15 water bodies. There were certain water bodies already constructed in the campus. We expanded them. We doubled their capacity, and fresh water bodies were created. So, and those would become later on habitats for birds, butterflies, and other wildlife. And if you provide water, then you are creating a system where everything will return back to you. Earlier, whatever ponds were there, those ponds were partially filled only during rainy season. But in rest of the 9 or 10 months, there was hardly any water in those ponds. So our next challenge was how to keep those ponds full for the entire year. That became our next challenge. As you can see, sir, after constructing ponds, there was a lot of soil which was coming out. We used those soil for creating a children's play area, a mound, eco park for them, which became later on a selfie point. And when I was visiting their colony, some small children told me there is no football ground nearby. Kindly provide a football ground. When we inspected that area, we found that it is an extremely low-lying land, uneven, almost like a ravine. So whatever soil was coming out from the newly constructed pond, we filled up. So it took care of our soil which was excavated, and we created a children's standard football area. So it was a closed cycle. It took care of a construction of a pond, disposal of a soil, as well as a children's requirement of a football ground. This is a very important. So there is a one Matna Nala which flows through our campus. This Matna Nala is a rainwater stream which covers around 40-50 villages. So all the catchment area, all the rainwater of that village would pass through our campus and it would go to the Ganges. So this Matna Nala was almost dry for most of the period. But during rainy season, you would find it just like extremely torrential stream. And the entire water would go to Ganges and it will go to Bay of Bengal, because in rainy season, no one needs water. Everywhere there is a floodlight situation between Raebareli to Bay of Bengal. There is no requirement of water. So that water was being wasted. So what we did, we tapped this Nala at 3 points. The point number 1 where it entered our campus, point number 2 at the mid location, and point number 3 where it left our campus. And by using the natural slope and simple engineering construction, we diverted the water to our 15 lakes we had created for it. Now these lakes become full. And I will also show you one important thing which we did there. So these were the construction. 15 water bodies we created, 35 recharge bore wells, 29 rainwater harvesting structure. All these three together provided us 750 million liter annual water conservation and recharge capacity. And there was virtually no monsoon runoff leaving the campus. So whatever water it was coming in our catchment area or through Matna Nala or through our tops, roof and soil, nothing was leaving. We were capturing everything, putting it in a pond, and by a special mechanism, we were recharging it in the ground. So these are the photos of the last year. As you can see, what we had created. And due to Matna Nala, all these ponds became full. I would like to share, sir, one picture. When we were creating the pond last year, in the month of June, we were able to create it. The moment pond was completed and some water from Matna Nala came into it, one day we found out that a large number of peacocks have started frequenting that place. So I was very happy to see that peacocks and birds and wildlife, they have found a sanctuary. And with them, butterflies and pollinators also returned. And every ponds became a center of ecological life. So by providing water, the landscape began sustaining itself. Sir, we had also done one thing, sir. We had provided 3 AQI boards all over the campus. The idea was that people should see what air they are breathing. And when we first provided the board, the value we were getting around 300. So the reading of 2023-24 was around 300, sir. Then after the impact of the plantation, it started coming down. And in the July last year, we found that value was coming around 15 to 20. So one of the day I took the photograph. That was 10th July 25. So figure was around 12. And when I left this place, sir, as I told you earlier, the figure had fallen down to 8. And last week I also got the photograph of this AQI board, and figure was around 14. So now the value which was around in 3 digits, AQI value in that area which was in 3 digits, has come down and it remains from 15 to 25, 30. That is a remarkable transformation of a place. And that was possible because everybody was looking at AQI board. They were feeling and they were reacting. They felt that what environmental change they were making possible, because it was a joint collaborative effort. It was everyone's effort that AQI was coming down by creating an entire ecosystem. So I felt that if we provide something visible measuring device, the motivation will be much more, and people will feel and they will realize that they are making a difference in their life and as well as the ecosystem. So this is the first Miyawaki forest I tried in that area, sir. I had tried in my house first time. As you know, the Miyawaki forests are created basically in those areas where land is less. These are the urban dense forests. And I had seen first Miyawaki forest in Indian Railway in Bangalore. So taking inspiration from Bangalore and Kurg plantation, I selected some trees and as well as spices. And after 18 months, these are the pictures taken after 18 months, the dense green forestation became there. So that became a successful model, and based on that model, we created around 20 such Miyawaki forests later on, because people believe Miyawaki forest can sustain there. Earlier, no one realized that it is possible because landscape was extremely difficult. As I was earlier telling, sir, when we created pond, we provided large number of tapping points at the rim of the pond. The idea was when water level goes above 15 feet, 20 feet, that water should not be wasted. That water should go recharge the aquifer. Earlier, we were creating huge concrete-based gray aquifer. So that was an eyesore, and it was also environmentally not a good thing. But we made the environmentally correct decision of providing large number of recharging point across the rim of the pond. So this not only improved our water recharging capacity, but also extremely low cost and highly efficient system. So in all ponds across the rim, we provided water recharging point. And we believe that we have to create a living green township. So in around 3 years, we were able to plant 3.5 lakh trees. Around 80% of the trees were survived because people take care of it. 91 acres of green belts were created. Large number of Miyawaki forests were created. Number of parks and community centers were created so that everyone felt that they are living in a green. Now, how was it possible? So, if someone tells me that what are the lessons you have learned and how it has been possible, so I will list these 6 points, sir. That you have to align yourself with the nature. You should not go against the nature. Like our plantation on 5th June Environment Day was not a good decision. Plantation should start with monsoon. Don't try to change the entire landscape. Do the interference in the area where it requires most. And it cannot be an official decision. It cannot be a bureaucratic decision that you give order that you plant tree and trees will be planted. You have to make partnership. Everyone has to own it. And fourth, every water drop has to be conserved. We should not allow a single drop. Those designers who have designed MCF is a very well designed township, and I must put on record the amazing work done by my predecessors and designers. They had made a very good infrastructure there. But we realized that the monsoon rain water and the catchment water, which was going away from MCF, has to be captured and it has to go back into nature. At the same time, you have to create an ecosystem. Why ecosystem is important? That nature start taking care of itself. If you will not build ecosystem, then you have to do a sort of annual maintenance. You have to do a lot of work on that. And if you build an ecosystem, then nature becomes its own gardener. Nature rejuvenates itself. Birds, they carry the seeds, and a lot of saplings come at different places where you are not planted. And at the last, I would say that you have to measure every outcome. By outcome, I mean whatever you want to do, it should be tangible, quantified. So we wanted to measure AQI. So we started measuring AQI for 3 years, and we realized that by creating a green ecosystem, by involving everyone, there is a tremendous improvement in AQI value. Now the next question is, sir, can this model be replicated? Can it be followed everywhere? The point is, this model can be replicated everywhere, but process what we have followed is not universal. Every place has to follow its own process, but the philosophy is universal. So what is the philosophy? You have to work with the local ecology. You have to involve people before budget, harvest every raindrop, major outcome, not activities. Like people say, we have created ponds. So it is not important that how many ponds you have created. It is important that how much water it holds. And you have to build institutions that leave the environment better than they found it. So I would tell everyone who would come in contact with me that definitely we are here to do a job as railway assigned us. But just ask one question to yourself. After a few years, when you will look back, would you like to tell yourself that I have cleared so many files, I have made so many phone calls, I have obstructed so many proposals, or I have done something for nature, or I have lived this place slightly better? So this message I will try to pass on everyone. And I realize that everyone wants to do a good thing. They only need a catalyst, environment, or someone should just push it or cajole it. People are ready to participate in a greener cause, better cause. It is just a slight nudging that matters. And this is the photograph taken from above, sir. This is the bungalow of a general manager, and behind it you can see the entire area which has become a green. So we were instructed with building coaches, sir, but we felt that it is important that we should build an environment where coaches as well as nature can grow together. So we built a healthier soil, cleaner air, richer biodiversity, and most important, a hope among everyone that we can change, we can make it really a green place. So that confidence is the most important thing when I look back. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, PK. What a wonderful. Thank you very much. What an inspiring talk. I must say, We started the virtual lounge session to share such stories of inspiration, and your story today is really wonderful, and I'm sure it will inspire many of us to who will listen in to take this forward. I will open the session for questions. Anybody?
Good evening. I'm K. Jain.
Good evening, sir. I had met you in Kopmo, sir. I remember, sir.
You've really done a marvelous job. It's unbelievable, unbelievable.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words, sir.
But the way you converted a barren land into a beautiful landscape and all, I just want to know, has this caught the attention of everybody around the government and the people, the people who matter,
Sir,
with that this type of thing could be replicated in other places? That is one.
sir, sir, in the last month of my superannuation, sir, I had gone to meet both Chief Minister and Governor, sir. And I told that this green transformation has been done in a place near Lucknow. So Madam Governor told me she will come and see. So Madam Governor came with along with entire entourage, sir. She spent a full day and saw around it, sir. And she had personally inspected it, sir. Chief Minister couldn't come, sir, but Governor and her team had come and seen, sir.
No, but has it gone to the people who would be able to do the replication?
No, sir, that has not been done that way, sir. But we had given all geotagged information to Forest UP Forest Department, sir. So it is in their database, sir.
You talked about Miyawaki Forest. My son, he is chairman and managing director of Vardhaman Steel in Ludhiana. He has developed Miyawaki Forest for the last 5 years. Beautiful, and so in a small place, thousands of trees have come up, and they continue to sort of grow by themselves. It has become a very nice.
Sir, I saw first Miyawaki forest in Krishnarajpuram diesel shed, sir. So that was an eye-opening for me also. I had never seen Miyawaki forest. So in SWR, I had got few Miyawaki forests developed in different divisions, sir. And when I came to Raebareli, sir, I tried first in my own bungalow. When it became successful, so we created 20 such Miyawaki forest all over the campus, sir. 2,000 square feet to 5,000 square feet of a patch of land, sir. Whatever we could get, there we developed, sir.
Okay, how do you make recharge wells?
Sir, the conventional style is, sir, you bore it, sir. A few hundred feet you bore, sir. Then you put a conventional media, sir, so that all the impurities are refined, sir. It goes to the top aquifer. Then it charges it, sir. That is a conventional practice, sir. What we did, sir, we initially created recharge well as the pattern of the original design, where you have a huge concrete structure of a few thousand liter water holding capacity. Water is filtered, then through a outlet pipe it goes into the aquifer, sir. So we used a pond as a recharge, pond as a aquifer, sorry, pond as a storage point, sir, and the rim of a pond, sir, for recharging, sir.
So how deep?
So this, sir, around 60 to 75 meter deep, sir, it has gone. As per the hydrological survey, sir, how much deep you can go, sir. We should not disturb the deep aquifer of the earth, sir. Only top aquifer we should touch, sir.
The water table has improved?
Sir, water table has improved, sir. We were drawing water from 1,500 feet, sir. Now we are drawing from 1,000 to 1,200, sir. It has not made a huge change, sir. It will take few years because water has been excavated for long. But I am sure, sir, now the Matna Nala water has been totally stopped. So in a few decades, it will come to 100 feet, 200 feet will come back, sir.
Great.
Just one thing, Prashant.
Yes, sir.
Good
evening, sir.
Why didn't you plant neem trees? Neem is such a variety which grows, without any water. It is such a sturdy tree. तुमने अपने जितने tree बताए, उसमें neem tree का नाम ये था. Neem is such a good, what should I say, healthy tree also.
Sir, you are absolutely right, sir. Neem, people, bargad, sir. We had also planted, sir. And these trees had
नीम का
grown.
नाम नहीं था तो मैं I was a
हाँ,
little
yes, sir.
surprised.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
पीपल वगैरह
I had
बोला.
missed it. I had missed it, sir. These tree also
Okay.
be planted, sir. And most of these trees were due to birds' intervention, sir. They had dropped in their droppings, those trees, sir.
Correct,
And we
correct.
used it.
Once the
we planted.
ecosystem is there, it automatically develops. So, great job. Fantastic.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
ये जो तुमने photos दिखाई थी वे they were the photos in 2024, 23 or they were the original photographs we were shooting? I can't
Sir,
believe in
कुछ-
3 years it has changed.
सर जो फर्स्ट स्लाइड में हमने 2 फोटोग्राफ दिखाई थी सर. एक फोटोग्राफ था इनिशियल पीरियड का 2000 का सर, और जो सेकंड
हाँ,
फोटोग्राफ था सर वो 2023 का था सर. और जो
Okay.
ग्रीनिंग के जितने फोटोग्राफ हैं वो सारे 25
वो सारे
26
current
के
हैं.
हैं.
Right, right.
वो
Because
सारे-
that barren land did not have any structure or anything, so I was thinking it cannot be the land in 2023. There must be structures around because factory तो बन गई है. तो ठीक है, समझ में आ गया.
सर एक चीज और इंटरेस्टिंग चीज मुझे पता चली सर. द इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट वाज देयर वाज अ लैंड सॉइल रिक्लेमेशन सेंटर established in that land, sir. For many decades, that center was established in a present location of MCF, sir. So
Achha.
government knew that this is a barren land, sir, and they wanted to develop that land. So they had planted few eucalyptus trees, few acacia trees, sir. But beyond that,
Oh.
nothing was there.
Actually, eucalyptus has been a failure. You know,
Yes.
this was a forest department's इजाद की eucalyptus plant कर दो and you have done your job because it just survives. But it is such
Yes,
a
sir.
bad environmental tree. It takes away all the water. No birds stay in this, except that it does not allow mosquitoes. Eucalyptus is a very bad environmental tree. Never plant eucalyptus. Jamun,
Right, sir.
neem, bargad, these trees are very good. They really help the ecosystem. They assimilate the water. Bamboo trees, one of the very good trees to improve the water table, and very
Right,
sturdy. Anywhere you plant, they will survive. Great job. I'm impressed.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, I'm delighted to see this huge accomplishment and initiative you have taken. You mentioned mostly about flora, the plants, and you did mention briefly birds. Did this forestation of this area, did it attract other fauna, animals, the small animals, squirrels, rodents, even foxes, or any other, besides birds, of course, that you mentioned? I'm just
Sir, I didn't cover in detail, sir. You are absolutely right, sir. This transformation and habitat where birds and small animals and large animals came, sir. It unfolded before our eyes, sir. Initially, only small birds would come, sir. Very small birds of all hues, sir. You name it, yellow, blue, red. I didn't I didn't know their names, sir. But I could hear their voices and their chirping, their twittering, sir. Initially, they came. Next year, when water bodies were full, all the winter migratory birds they started coming, sir. And Nilgai made it a permanent abode. Squirrels were there, sir. 1 or 2 deers also came, sir. A lot of pigs came, sir. Hedgehogs came. So various flora and fauna, they made it at their points, sir. Peacocks were there, sir.
the other thing you mentioned measurement. This may take a while to measure, but I assume that with AQI of 10, 20, 30 range, there should be improvement in the health of people, in the not only railway employees, but others. It should probably show up after a while in your medical and hospital costs.
Sir, direct correlation we have not done, sir, but this is an area where we have to do correlation, sir.
PK, did the forest people learn something? Did they come around and did they start adopting something in the neighboring areas, or they remained indifferent still?
They said they were very helpful, sir. When they came and found out that most of the saplings they had given had survived, sir, they helped in a big way, sir. Not only they will give us free of cost all the lakhs and lakhs of saplings, sir, but they also gave us tree guards, sir. Because another challenge which I forgot to mention was, sir, nilgai, sir. Whenever we planted saplings, in the night, nilgai would come and they will trample over it, eat over it, so the sapling would be destroyed. Then we requested the forest department to give forest tree guards, sir, and they gave thousand and thousand of tree guards, sir. So their support was there. That's why we could do it, sir.
Yeah, support is fine. Support is good because you were asking and doing their job. But did they also try to replicate something in the surrounding areas?
So
not to
this
your
I'm not
knowledge.
aware. Not aware, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a very, very inspiring talk. It's something fantastic. I wanted to ask you one question. What happened to the pH value? Which was
Sir,
not related.
pH value of the land was, sir, 8.5 to 10, sir.
Yeah. What happened after all this?
Sir,
Did it
when we
change?
increased, it improved, sir. When we added lot of organic mass into it, sir, it started coming down, sir. It became from 7 to 9, sir.
Yeah. I mean, it also fits in with what I have been reading nowadays about the alternate economics, which basically fits in with what you have done. Because that alternate economics says that we have breached the biosphere limits. And if the biosphere limits are reached, we're going to get pollution and disaster. Now, what I'm seeing from your work is that how true it is. You have created the biosphere again, and how it has shown up as fantastic. Nature has recouped and gone back. And so I think we need to follow this all over, because more and more of what we are doing is actually pushing us further and further away from the uh, limits to which the biosphere can take. So I think this is a fantastic example of what you have managed to do. And I can add one thing more, what Ranjit started for about Mr. Kang. I was both with him in Adra, where he was the
Sorry, I
DS.
thought Chakradarpur. Sorry, my mistake.
So
Adra.
Adra, and he did that, and it was fantastic because he looked at when I was posted there and I went there, I saw on his wall some very strange sort of map of place. I said, normally people have the map of the division. So he says, I asked him, what is this? He says, we had 200 steam locomotives here or something like that. Where did the water come from? So he was studying all the old pipelines, what was happening. And from there, he managed to recoup that. And the water came. And the water came, then, of course, all this happened and he planted the forest. And ultimately, that forest, which you said, got there. It had a huge impact with the tribal population there. So when he was leaving, they was more or less worshipped. And I was with him in RCF also. And he was emphasizing much more on how many plants to be done. And the RCF land actually had sand on it when we went there. So that sand, when we reached there, when I was part of the initial team, there was sand, the jeeps would get stuck. And we had to use camels to do the survey. Then the sand was scraped off to a certain extent, and he did lakhs of trees of plantation, and RCF became very different. So I must say you are part of that same thing, and congratulations. And I think I'm going to contact you because I have some ideas which you can definitely help me further do it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
PK was-
Sir, I was fortunate to see Mr. Kang's work at both the places, sir. I was posted in RCF as a general manager, sir, looking after. So I asked my chief engineer to plant trees. He said, sir, कि कोई जगह नहीं बची है. Everywhere trees have been planted. So that is the job, sir. He has made RCF totally green, sir. And when I was in Asansol, I would go to Adra. There, Mr. Kang had not only developed a huge forest, but a huge pond also, sir. A low-lying land has been converted into a big pond, sir, where boating is now taking place, sir. So he has really made a permanent contribution to both the place, sir, both the division and the RCF, sir. That legacy lives on.
Yeah, see, I'll tell you about that pond. That pond was the place where the boiler washout water used to go. That's how that pond was there. So, so when all this water came and the pond got, and they used the pond for the forest. So I was there with him as the senior DME that time. And I was there with him as CPO in RCF. So CME planning and CME manpower planning and CPO. I was the first CPO of RCF. So I've seen it all. And now that to see what you have done, it is fantastic, actually.
Now, I just want to tell Mishra ji, the marvelous job that you have done, I really feel that it should figure in Pradhan Mantri ji ki Man Ki Baat.
Right, sir. I have time, sir. I will document and write, sir.
I'm sure this is one story which should reach many corners of the country, and a lot of work can be done. And I hope when we put this recording out on virtual lounge session, it becomes viral, and everybody can take inspiration from your presentation, PK. Wonderful. Thank you so very much for sharing your experience. It has been a wonderful talk, and thank you very much for agreeing to do this. And we are very grateful to you. Thank you very much, PK.
Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity, sir. Thank you once again to all the distinguished guests, sir. Thank you, sir.